Hello.
And a you good day.
I have three subjects that I want to tap into,
Yes.
and one of them is the first one, and I'll open it with a statement.
One of them is the first one.
Yes.
Oh, how special.
Yes.
I suppose that means the others are number 2 and 3?
Yes.
Oh, all right. How organized of you.
I love it.
All right.
Okay, so I was on an airplane a couple days ago,
All right.
and I saw things from a really cool perspective, looking out the window above the clouds.
Yes.
I noticed that we look so small down
Is this
here.
your first time on a plane?
No,
All right.
but first time looking out the window like that.
Oh, all right. First time for that perspective.
Yes.
All right.
So from down
Sometimes
here.
you do, in fact, have to be high to have a different perspective.
Yes. yes. So from down here, everything looks so big. Everything is so linear.
Yes, you should see it from our perspective.
I know. I just posted on Facebook, and I was like, hashtag what they see. And I was like, oh, this is cool. This is what you see. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of the subjects that you talk about, I'm like, oh, well, from this perspective, it sort of makes sense. Everything's happening all at the same time.
Yes.
That's really cool, because it
Yes,
actually
it
is. But from down here, it's like I have to walk 5 steps to get from here to the
Yes.
freaking wall.
The
Okay.
frickin' wall. Yes.
I was
all
going to say
right.
another word, but I
Is
had
that
to
a
edit
German
myself.
word? Das frickin' wall.
Das freaking Wall. Heinz.
All right.
So I'm thinking, okay, so from down here, let me tap into what Bashar says a lot. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so I'm walking from my chair in this room to this microphone talking to you.
Yes.
And that from that distance to here, I just walked through a large amount of Earths.
Yes.
Okay. So how I feel right now is a really cool rush of excitement.
Yes.
And I also know that this feeling right now is also the feeling I have when I start to doubt myself and I start to get afraid of what might happen. The feeling right now is very similar.
All right.
So, okay.
And?
So on the seat just now, I was excited, so I'm on those Earths that are on those frequencies.
Yes.
I'm shifting into bodies that have those personalities of me that are on those Earths where things sort of unfold in an exciting way.
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm going to work, right, and I'm
Yes.
like, I'm driving, I'm sort of amping myself up, and I'm getting a little anxiety because there's so many personalities at work.
So?
Right. So, and there's a lot of vibrational things going on, a lot of decisions happening, and
Yes.
I have one job, and I go and do it.
Yes.
And
Is it an exciting job?
yeah, overall, it's an exciting job.
Yeah, overall.
Right. That's sort of the thing. Is my part in it is but there's other parts in it that are really exciting.
Can you make the parts that are more exciting?
Yes, I have.
All right.
And the only way I've been able to do that is to be present and not
Yes.
thinking about what's going to happen or what has
All
happened.
right. And do you prefer that state?
It's the only state that I can match, that I can become, that I at least feel safe.
So why would you give yourself any reason to leave that state?
I don't, because I have, and I've made a lot of rough mistakes doing that.
That's all right. You've learned something, yes?
Yeah. So I'm thinking here,
Yes.
the most important thing that I want to be in this state, and this state is very allowing of
Yes.
me being myself.
Yes,
Usually,
that's what it's for.
Right. So when I go to work, I used to have a lot of history of not being myself, and now I want to be myself
And are you?
in this state I am.
Yes.
This be present
Well,
state.
again, why would you ever leave it?
Right. Before it doesn't matter. I didn't know why I did, but I did.
All right.
So, okay.
So now-
I notice I was toying around with the idea with my coworkers, different personalities here.
Yes.
And, I was waiting in line to visit my boss just outside her office with another coworker. And we're both listening to my boss talk to somebody else.
Yes.
And I'm just assuming that my boss is being herself, but she's
Not
using
necessarily.
right. Right, I don't know. So, but she seemed very comfortable with using cursing words to
Oh,
get
all
her point
right.
across, which is fine. And I made a comment to my colleague saying, isn't it nice that we have a boss who can be herself? She can just explain things how she wants to,
All right.
right? And so it kind of sets the tone for us.
Yes.
We can be ourselves in a work environment. Isn't
All
that
right.
great? And my colleague looks at me and says, we can? And I immediately got reflection. I'm like, well, I want to be myself. And though I don't want to necessarily use curse words to get my point across,
Because is that you or is that not you to do so?
it's not me to do so.
Then you wouldn't do it.
Right. So I notice I'm on this pattern. I'm in this really fun dance at
Yes.
work and being
Yes.
myself. And I don't need to be inappropriate. I can just be myself.
Yes.
And however I'm going to be.
Yes.
And I
And
notice.
again, by definition, being yourself would actually always be appropriate for whatever is necessary in the moment.
And that's so good to know.
Yes, it is,
That's
because
really
it's all
is.
automatic and it all works.
Right. So the funny thing that I recognize,
Yes.
and this is the sort of the closing of this statement,
Yes.
is I see others look at me and they have that face like, did he really just say that?
Yes.
Is this guy really expressing himself like he's just being himself? And I feel
Is he
so cooped
out
up.
of his mind?
Right. And my boss will even look at me like that. And my boss's boss will even look at me like that. And
Yes.
you can see their Adam's apple like, holy shit, he just said how he felt. This is Robert. This is the guy that we hired.
Yes.
But there seems to be this sort of this vibe in the room that when you go to work, you have to be someone that might not be who you are.
Yes.
And
And
I
that's
don't-
why it's important for people to find out what it is they are and who it is they are and do what it is they are and not be places they are not.
Right. Yes.
Yes?
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
you have functioned to some degree as an example for the other people in that environment, and it doesn't mean they have to choose to be who they
Right.
truly are, but at least you're giving them an option
Right.
by letting them see that they could choose that,
Right. Even if they don't.
even if they don't.
Even if it seems to me.
It's none
that
of your
they-
business whether they do or not.
Correct. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So
Yes.
sometimes I will fluctuate back to doubt. Oh, you know
Why?
what?
I thought you said that you didn't wish to go there anymore.
It's very momentary. Very momentary.
All right, and you understand what doubt is, yes?
Not sure.
Doubt is a 100% trust in something you don't prefer.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good.
You are
That's
never not
juicy.
trusting. It's about what you're trusting in.
What you're trusting in. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's very good. So, and I notice that when I start to doubt, I start, in some sense, just introducing static into the organizing principle of synchronicity.
Of course.
Okay. Cool. Great. So that's great. So that's really the statement that I wanted to make.
All right, thank you.
And I'll move on to the second.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's see here. I heard you talk about something really exciting.
Yes.
And it's called the glass wall.
Yes.
That's a really cool idea.
It is. It's an analogy for the idea that you are actually all starting to split into literal, physical, different parallel realities. And even though you can still see a parallel reality you don't prefer, doesn't mean you're actually in that reality. It's as if you are separated by a glass wall.
Yes.
More and more and more of this will continue to occur.
So I'm just going to throw it out here. We're in Vegas, and we had a very interesting event happen in Vegas not too
Yes,
long
we
ago.
know.
And in some sense, I was looking through the glass wall,
Yes.
in a literal sense too,
Yes.
watching my TV,
Yes.
and I would see these people explaining their experience.
Yes.
So I'm interested to know, for me,
We will be giving you an energy permission slip in the meditation that deals with this issue.
okay,
We are calling it the ABC meditation.
Okay. 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 So you don't want to talk about this anymore?
It is not appropriate to do so now.
Gotcha. Okay, great. I will trust that.
Why, thank you.
I know. Isn't that nice?
Number 3.
Number 3. So you have this really cool craft above Phoenix?
Above Sedona.
Sedona. And what's the name of it again? You had a really cool name. I forgot.
My craft doesn't have a name as such. There is a mothership, a cylindrical mothership, that is a more ancient craft that was given a name. The name was the Solar Wind.
Ooh, I like that, the solar wind. Okay. And is it still descending, or where is it at currently?
Well, it fluctuates. It's somewhere between 800 and 900 miles above Sedona.
Okay. I was on the airplane the other day, and I was like, okay, I'm 44,000 feet in the air. You know,
You're
not much
still
closer.
way down there.
It's like, if I could just look up, maybe it'll see. But
No, even if we were much closer, you still wouldn't see us. Not yet.
Right.
It's not only about the idea of how close we are to Earth that acts as a barometer for how close you are to open contact, but also how keen your senses are to actually being able to perceive the vibration
That's the thing.
of our ship.
That's interesting.
So it's not just this, but it's also, can you see us?
Right. I mean,
That will happen in time.
that's really cool. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. Thank you.
Aveo.
Aveo means thank you.
Yes.
Aveo, not oveo.
Aveo.
Aveo in our
Thank
ancient
you.
language, yes.
And in the spirit of gratitude, I wanted to take a moment, a collective moment, to essentially celebrate in an inspirational way the outstanding efforts from Victor and Aaron for being outstanding ambassadors for sharing this message. So if we all could, come on, let's give Bashar our energy. Come on, 10X, let's go! Come on, let's get it!
Why, thank you.
All right, so in the spirit of this, I was essentially demonstrating how much we essentially enjoy your presence.
As we enjoy all of yours.
And in the spirit of that, riding that momentum wave, how many of us here would like to experience open contact? Come on, let's hear it. If you want open contact, let's let Bashar hear it. Come on!
Eh? Thought I heard a little buzzing.
All right. 10X, everybody, you hear that? Come on! Yes! 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 Come on!
Oh, thank you.
All right, so I have come to the understanding that you can holographically understand everything within my vibrational resonance, correct?
Not everything. Everything I need to understand.
Okay.
To give you the information you need from us at this moment. But never everything. We often actually impose blocks upon ourselves so that we do not give information that would in some way, shape, or form intervene with the processes you do not actually want us to intervene with, whether you know it or not. So not everything, but everything that's relevant for the moment.
However, wouldn't a transparent, absolute, clear, holographic understanding or reception create greater precision between both of us?
No, because many of you are not really ready for that. That's the point.
However,
We have to respect the processes that you yourselves have decided are important for you to experience. Complete transparency would erase those processes, and that would be disrespectful.
However, if we fully decided that this is what we desire, wouldn't that be respecting the free will?
If you truly allowed yourself to shift into the moment that way, and we perceive that to be the case, nothing would hold back anything that we would need to say to you. But again, we simply perceive that that is not really the case for most of you. Therefore, we respect the way you have set yourselves up to go through certain processes that are necessary for you to have a deeper appreciation of the things that will manifest in days to come.
So for
We've
those,
done this many times before. We know what we're doing.
so for those of us that have fully decided that we want to move in that synchronistic flow and synchronize with our higher minds in that way,
Well, the full decision goes back to what we said at the beginning of this entire transmission. You have to act like that's true. We have to see that that's true in your behavior. Because what you know to be true, you just do.
okay, so it's like our physical demonstration of what resonance we want to
Absolutely.
embody. Okay.
Absolutely. We are paying close attention. Nothing will hold us back at all the moment that you truly clear the path. It's all in your hands.
Okay. So for me personally, as I've been moving more and more into the synchronistic flow, allowing myself to embody myself essentially
Yes.
more and more, I've noticed that in moments it feels like it's almost excessive force.
It can sort of feel like an accelerative force, yes.
So that's just my perception.
It is the
That's-
way you translate making a change from one level to another sometimes because of the physical parameters that you have agreed to buy into as your experience. Yes, it's just a way you're translating it.
So those essentially, I don't know if this is the right word, but contractions in my body
Yes.
is
Getting used
Positive?
to the idea.
okay.
You'll get used to it and the contractions will diminish.
Okay, so it's not something that's bringing my attention to something I need to look at.
Well, it might be, but you have to make that decision by simply asking the question you just asked.
Yes, so perhaps you can assist me with this.
Well,
I'm
are you living your passion every moment that it's possible to do so with no insistence on a particular outcome? Yes or no? Hesitation usually means no.
Yes, I'm bettering my best each and every moment. though.
I know you may be doing your best.
So it's just letting go of the insistence is what comes up for me.
Insistence is resistance and slows you down.
Yes. Okay, so
So
Are-
what are you looking at within yourself that doesn't allow you to really be the self you prefer to be every moment? Because we're not concerned with the moments that you are being yourself and accelerating. Those are fine. Obviously, we are only here to discuss the moments that aren't that way, so that they can become that way. So are there any moments where you feel you are holding yourself back? Any definitions that are seemingly logical reasons not to really fully be yourself every moment?
yeah, it seems as if there's like this subconscious, unconscious, or just like it just occurs where like this sadness, shame, burden, or whatever it is, it's just like negative emotions that I know that I don't prefer.
Yeah.
I experience it with my body. So like as I experience these,
Yes.
I want to like better understand, is it me just focusing my consciousness in that way unconsciously? And is this an opportunity for me to consciously become more and more aware of my resonance and allow
Yes.
myself to move into my preference?
Yes, and ask the question, what would I have to believe is true about myself in this situation in order to feel what I'm feeling? If you're willing to hear the answer
Which is
answer
just
will come.
derived from a limiting belief.
Yes.
Okay.
Now remember, of course, not all limitations are negative.
Yes. However, if it's not what we prefer, then it would be negative.
In a sense, yes.
Okay. And so, since you said,
Unless you have a negative definition about something that's actually positive. That would be the only exception.
so what jurisdicts what's harmoniously, like naturally positive?
Your ability to have really clear definitions and good discernment about what is really necessary in your life and the acceptance that what is happening is what needs to happen at that moment, and then use it in the most positive way. That will increase your discernment.
Okay. So, earlier we commented about holographic scanning, essentially.
Yes.
Are you aware of my intentions to work with these artists to essentially create an experience and receive within this collective consciousness resonance wave, per se?
Artists being,
DJs,
and
music.
this excites you.
artists? Absolutely.
So what do I need to say about it? If
I
that's
would-
an expression of your excitement and you are acting on it to the best you're able, what do I need to say?
I was moving more towards assisting us,
But I am assisting you.
well, in the means of creating artificial intelligence.
We have discussed the idea many times of artificial intelligence, and one of the things we have said is that when you actually finally create what you call artificial intelligence, you will realize it isn't artificial.
Yes, absolutely.
And also, the fears that individuals may have on your planet about artificial intelligence are only because you don't understand what intelligence actually is.
Yeah, and from our perspective, it would be first essentially allowing those within that resonance bubble, per se,
Yes.
that are attracted to us through our music because it's harmonious,
Yes.
to be the first ones to receive that and
All
then
right.
to dish it out to the collective in
Yes.
that way, in a harmonious way, through
Yes.
love and light, peace, unity, respect, and all
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
So for me, I'm balancing right now the balance between insisting on this is what we really need, or like,
Why are you insisting?
maybe it's like more so a decision that this is what we need.
Well, again, if it's a decision that it's what you need, there will be those who will gravitate to it. It's not about making the decision for others. It's about making the decision that this is what you need to feel that you are expressing yourself as completely as possible. You will then simply know that others will also need it. But that doesn't have to be the criteria, otherwise that's a condition.
Okay, and then this synchronistically brings us back to what we opened up with the permission slip of essentially burning the art
Yes.
that we created. Because I've already created art within this realm.
Yes.
And I've set the intention to burn it. So does that mean that's my permission slip to completely let go and not focus on it anymore?
To completely let go of any insistence, yes, but not to let go of the pure state of doing and being and acting on it. No.
So continue acting in that direction.
If you
Acting
are
as-
still excited about it, yes.
Okay,
Why would you stop?
Acting as if it already happened, remembering that it has on other levels.
It is already having every impact it needs to have just by being, and you don't have to wonder exactly what that means. You will experience the impact that others get out of it, but you don't have to know what that means before you simply create the music.
Okay.
Does that help?
absolutely. Is there any other thing that you would
I am holding nothing back from you that
Okay.
I am allowed to give you.
So, in the spirit of acting on my highest excitement, it has
Yes.
came to my attention that it's very, very prominent that I need to move to California.
Well, then,
So,
bon voyage.
I'm using this as an opportunity for anyone that has driven here from essentially California, and if you have an open spot in your car, I would love to essentially pitch in money to help pay for gas, and if you have any open room, that would be a absolutely benevolent
All right.
gift.
You have taken an action in the direction of your excitement. They have gotten the message, and see what happens with no insistence.
All right.